Yeah, Evolution has been running since like 2002. Okay, and or something like that. Wait, let me. When did it start? Pretty helpful if I do that. We good? Okay, yeah. Anyway, so you got Evolution, the big fighting game tournament, grassroots kind of tournament, mainly with like Mr. Wizard and all the US scene and all those guys. However, it's been primarily just Street Fighter and all your traditional fighters. Like over the years, it's gone from Street Fighter to then branching out to other fighting games like Tekken and King of Fighters, and then Guilty Gear and all that lot. And Guilty Gear had its own drama at one point. Guilty Gear only came back recently because it had its own drama a few years ago with Marn and that. But Evolution really took off, even for people like me, back in 2008 when Street Fighter 4 came out. Because obviously we had the internet, we had Twitch coming out as a thing. We had loads of these videos that have been uploaded to YouTube in like 2005, 2006 showing Evolution. Obviously Evo Moment 37. And we're all thinking like, alright, this is going to be good. We now have Smash Bros. Now the thing about Smash Bros is that for the longest time, Smash Bros has generally been outcast within the fighting game community, wherever you are, whether you're in Japan or the US or Europe. Smash Bros has been an outlier within the FGC. It's always been looked down upon. It's been laughed at, and I'm personally someone that's been an avid supporter of Smash Bros because that's been one of my main fighting games since I was like 11 or 12. I even learnt tech within that game that I didn't even know was tech until I realised it was a proper kind of thing, like shining out a shield, for example, or one frame jumps, one frames with shine and stuff like that. But I basically learnt it. But the thing is, Smash Bros has always been looked down upon. It's always been laughed at. It's never really been taken seriously. People have looked at it as a party game, and then if I can find it here, let me add a window capture. Chrome, here we go. So, Evo Skullgirls vs Smash. So, obviously because Evolution has been such a big game regarding Street Fighter and Tekken and all that lot, it's been like, hey, it's never even been an Evo, and everyone's always been taking the piss out of Smash, which I've always disagreed with. There was an event back in 2013. Let me have a look. Was it 2013 or 2012? Hold on a sec. Let me check something here. Was it 2012? Evo Skullgirls Smash donation. Yeah, it was 2013. So back in 2013, there was a big donation event, which was raised for charity. I think it was like breast cancer awareness. Where if you're, everyone would be voting to, as you can see here, everyone would be voting for a spot. This was a new thing that I think Mr. Wizard set up, which was basically, we've got one more spot left at Evo. We want to make it a special kind of vote. So what we'll do is we'll set up a charity drive, and whichever game community raises the most money for their game, they will get that spot at Evo to be on the main stage. And it was mainly coming down to Smash Bros. Melee and Skullgirls. In the end, Smash Bros. Melee won, which means for the first time Smash Bros. Melee was actually going to be on the Evolution main stage, and it's going to be a big event. It's going to have the whole of the community there. It's going to be just the big game that everyone's going to be wanting to watch now. But it's also going to put Smash Bros. On the map as a legitimate fighting game and not be looked down upon and not laughed at. Because before that, Smash Bros had been laughed at, like I said, by the FGC at large, and it's always been a community that's been on its side. Smash Bros also never had any support from Nintendo. They never really had that kind of push. They'd managed their own tournaments. They'd managed their own kind of prize money. They managed their own events, basically. It's always been a grassroots kind of scene. But now, they've got the backing behind Evo, and they're going to be a big main event basically. And then so now that Smash Bros finally made it to Evo, Smash Bros gains some attention, and is now become every single year one of the main stage games. I mean, we're talking about, by the way, a game that came out in 2002. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 came out in 2002, I think, and Third Strike also came out in 2002. And those games have all moved on. You know, we had Marvel 3, we've had Marvel Infinite. Let's not talk about that. And also since 2002, we've had different versions of Street Fighter, and then Street Fighter 4 obviously being the next big one. But Smash Bros. Melee is a game from 2002, and to this day, as of last week, has still been a main stage game that's had that level of support. Okay, because it's just that much of a good game. 2002 was a good year for fighting games. So the FGC has now acknowledged Melee as a legitimate fighting game. It's now been invited into what is essentially the Evolution scene. It's been growing ever since, which is good. And then with the release of Smash 4, seeing as how people have now given Melee Smash Bros. Scene the respect it deserves, they've then also taken on Smash 4 as its kind of brother, essentially. The next one up. Much like how when the next Tekken comes out after Tekken Tag, Tekken 7 came out, it automatically goes on to Evo because, it's the next one to take on. So it's basically been invited into this, I guess you could say, metaphorical house of fighting games, along with all the other ones. It's one of the big respectable games now. It's one of the biggest ones. It's on the main stage. Now the big problem with this and this whole thing is for reasons like this. So we've had nearly 7 years now of Evo, with Smash Bros being there. Everyone's been loving it. Generally really good numbers, really good money, really good event overall. Smash Bros Melee's been really good. Lots of highlights. So why this is a problem is because, actually, before we even get into this, we've now got Smash 4 that's come out. So I want to add a little bit more to this. Now that Smash 4's out, it means it's automatically going to be the big main stage for Evo. And now that it's out on the big main stage for Evo, we're going to have to put up with whatever the game has to offer at the time. Now, if we quickly look at the tier list for Smash Bros. Tier list for Smash 4. We'll use Smash. Let's not use Smash boards because it's that article's behind. We can use event hubs. Mainly, you should be using Smash boards and stuff like that, but I'm pretty sure event hubs are still going to get my point across. You can see here, Bayonetta is the best. And the thing about Bayonetta is she's not just the best. She is the best by a long shot. Bayonetta is so good at the game. Is such a good character within the game. The game completely changes. So imagine you look at characters like Meta Knight in Brawl, to the point that Meta Knight had to be banned in 2012 because the game was just Meta Knight versus Meta Knight. Like if you wanted to win, you had to play Meta Knight because no other character in the game could beat Meta Knight. The same could be said, like the game completely changes when you look at other characters like Gil in Third Strike, for example. So since Gil is, OP, he's essentially that outlier. He's the kind of fun character you pick just because he's dumb and broken. Like, he's actually a broken character. He does things in the game that you shouldn't be able to do. The way that his moves work, the way that his just basically Gil's broken, And I don't mean broken like people think Fox is broken. Fox is godlike in Smash Melee. You could also argue the same about Chun-Li and Yun in Third Strike. They're godlike characters. They're amazing, but they're not broken or anything like that. The same can be said for MSS, Magneto, Storm, Sentinel. That team composition in Marvel 2 is amazing. They're godlike. It's a really solid fundamental team, but it's not broken. It's not going against the way that the game works. When you play a character like Gil in Third Strike, you're just playing a whole new game. You're not playing Third Strike. You're playing some other random bullshit that you've managed to throw out there. But no one takes Gil seriously anyway. The same can be said for Bayonetta. Bayonetta is such a damn good character that you go from playing characters like Sheik, for example, or Zero Suit Samus, or even Fox, like these characters. You can look at Fox vs Samus and go, that looks like Smash. You can look at a match that consists of Diddy Kong versus Sheik and go, that looks like Smash Bros. You get my point. You can look at even characters like Ryu versus even Meta Knight, or Pikachu versus Mario and stuff like that and go, this looks like Smash Bros. But when you see Bayonetta versus Bayonetta, the game completely changes to the point that it doesn't look like Smash Bros. There are things that Bayonetta is doing that goes against the core mechanics of what Smash Bros is. She has such stupid level of attacks, her priority, her hitboxes, her slowdown, her witch time, her mechanics. And don't get me wrong, I love Bayonetta. Bayonetta's amazing. I'm so happy she's in the game. I actually love Bayonetta. But the way that she works in Smash Bros goes against so many of the core fundamentals and restrictions and limits put in place to keep every character feeling like a Smash Bros character, that she's basically so good that the only way to win is to play Bayonetta herself. Like it's not even a level of a doubt. Like if we were to do rankings, you'd have like Cloud, Diddy Kong, Sheik, Sonic, all S ranking. Then you'd have Bayonetta, where she's just in her own rank. It's called technically the Bayonetta tier, because she's not even S rank or S plus rank. She is Bayonetta rank. She is retardedly good, and she completely destroys the mechanics of the game and does her own things. She's actually OP and broken. I would even go so far as to say she's broken. She has touch of death combos, and in a Smash Bros game that's really strange. Again, like I said, I think I've made my point enough. She's basically her own character that the game completely changes. If you play Mario vs Bayonetta, you're gonna lose. She overplays every single thing, every core mechanic of the game, and plays it in her own way. She doesn't play by the restrictions of the game, so what the developers made. So yeah, that's why Bayonetta is so good. She's not a Smash Bros character, but she's in a Smash Bros game. Now, we've now had Bayonetta in Smash Bros 4 for I'd probably say 3 years now. I think she's been out for 3 or so years, and she was godlike before. Then she got nerfed, and she's still the best character in the game. There was even a really funny list. Let me bring this back up. There was the famous Bayonetta nerf that came out. Much like how Dante got nerfed in Marvel Infinite. Yeah, much like how Dante got nerfed in Marvel Infinite, when it was just literally a just list where it was like, oh, we may have changed a little bit on Spencer, we may have changed a little bit on Ryu, but then it got to Dante and it was just paragraphs and paragraphs and bullet points out the arse of how that character got nerfed. The same can be said for Bayonetta. Like we've got this hopefully this is it. Where have we got it? So just to reiterate my point then, because I don't want to kind of waffle on too much, but basically they had the Bayonetta nerf patch where I was like, oh, we've changed Mario a little bit, we've changed Captain Falcon like by his hitbox or something like that, and then it got to Bayonetta and it's literally just non-stop nerfs for this character, and yet she's still godlike because of the way that she plays overall. She got heavily nerfed and she's still the best character in the game. Now, so at this point, because there have not, so there's even more actually, but anyway, because we now know that Bayonetta has had the nerfs and all that lot, but the game hasn't been touched since. As far as we know, the game is not going to get any updates. So we now know for a fact, in terms of tier list, from now until forever, Bayonetta will be the best character in the game, and the only way to get around that is to do what they did with Meta Knight and ban the character. So I hope that kind of catches you up to speed and gives you kind of a bit of a relevance as to where we are now. People are playing Bayonetta because she's best in the game, and at EVO you're playing for money, you're going to pick the best character in the game. And we all know that it's just going to be Bayonetta versus Bayonetta. Same as if you watch Smash Bros Brawl finals, it's literally Meta Knight versus Meta Knight. Now the problem is, after explaining all of that, the way how Smash Bros community has come, where they've gotten to, and how they currently are situated at in terms of tournaments, we've now essentially got this here, which is the grand finals. Throughout this whole scene, these guys are sitting here at grand finals. Basically, like I said, these guys, the Smash Bros scene has been invited into the EVO house. You know, they're a guest, and you get these two people up on stage, Lima and Captain Zack, who go up on stage. They're talking, they're having bants between matches. They're not taking the game seriously. You know, they're having fun. They're taking the piss. They're basically, I mean, I can understand, you know, it happens in tournaments when you've got two people that are friends and they're, you know, training buddies. You know, they know each other. But these guys are talking to each other just between matches, like, oh, hey, you know, that's all right. Don't worry about it, man. You know, let's go again. Let's have a little bit of banter. Let's have a little bit of fun. Which, again, isn't even the issue itself. This shit here is the issue. Cool, congrats. This here is a perfect summary of Smash Bros 4. And there's many, I don't want to go into it too much, but basically this move at the beginning of the match is amazing because You know, it's charge. It's got a lot of hits. They do multiple hits. You can they go up at a slight angle, so even if you jump, you're going to get hit. You can't go underneath them. You have to crouch. You know, Bayonetta at the very beginning, if you hold B, you gain the bonus. Not only that, but these guys clearly talked to each other before this to say, why don't we just have a little bit of a piss about and just hold B at the beginning of the match. They're basically saying, hey, why don't we just both hold B? Why not? That'd be quite funny. And now, in the back here as well, in the crowds, all these guys are booing them because everyone is so sick of Bayonetta ruining this game. The last thing they want to see are two people that play Bayonetta pissing around at Evo doing this shit, basically. Like, why? This is grand finals and you're doing this like it's a generic casual. But this just shows the state that Smash Bros is in. You can't do this with any other characters in the game. You can't do this in a Mario Ditto. You can't do this in like a Sheik versus Pikachu match. You cannot do that. But because these characters are so good, it's literally first one to make a move is, you know, going to be the kind of key victor. So then these guys take their headsets off and they just start talking between the grand finals, and it's like you can listen to the crowd. People making noise, people going crazy and stuff like that. Yeah, they're basically just teabagging, having a piss about. Keep in mind, like I said, this is the Smash Bros scene. Okay, they got invited into the Evo house, and for the last 6 years they've been, you know, kind of, you know, basically playing how they should do. But now that we know Bayonetta's godlike, well, we've known that for like 3 years, but now that we know this is going to essentially be the way Smash 4 is forever, this is essentially what you're now going to be watching, is just these two Bayonetta people just taking the piss.
Alright. Someone's going to run on stage, man.
Neither of them are going to move. What makes it worse is that the guys here, the guys who are working, Bear, and I don't know the other guy coming up, but there's Bear. He's like they're doing an interview between each other. They're both just having fun. They're not. I have to remind you, by the way, this is grand finals. This is literally a representation of the whole community as well at grand finals. There's more I need to talk about regarding this.
Mr. Wizard is already thinking about how he's going to keep us away from Evo for the rest of his time, bro.
This is a complete disrespect of the community, the players who attended and lost. It's a disrespect to, you know, Mr. Wizard and Evo, and it's also a disrespect to the viewers. It's a massive disrespect and insult to the community and how far they got to get to this position. And you've got these two like jokers up on stage just doing this.
This is not what I was expecting at all.
And you can hear all the booing as well, because nobody wants to see this. These two guys up on stage are basically saying this is your Smash Bros, and this is all Smash Bros is from now on. And then that guy came over and was like, by the way, it's against the rules to be stalling for time. Again as well, it's grand finals, it's collusion and stuff like that. You can't do that shit without there being repercussions as well. I want to go back a little bit there as well. I want to show you something. So this is essentially what they've done. They've essentially come into this house after all these years they've built up on a grassroots scene, been disrespected. Like I said, the players who attended. Keep in mind, Smash Bros had a very diverse group of people that attended. You've got loads from Japan, others around the US, people from Europe that all went. Not only did we not get to watch some of the best players, like even Zero wasn't there this year, but we've now got these two guys up on stage. And keep in mind, from like I said, this has gone from a grassroots scene to a massive Evo scene. Now, that means you've got Nintendo watching this. You've got Nintendo employees in the background. The Nintendo employees are actually at Evo in the background watching this. I'm sure, like, you know, the Smash Bros development team were watching this, or some of them were. You know, this is the largest fighting game tournament in the world. They're going to be watching this to see, you know, maybe we do need to send out another patch. They probably won't. Or how do we change the characters based on the way they're currently playing in Smash 4 for Smash 5 or Smash Ultimate. You've got all these, if you look down here at the bottom, you've got all these sponsors. You've also got Smash Bros was also shown on the Disney Channel last year. It was actually it was actually shown on the Disney Channel itself. You could actually watch it live if you had it on you know, your cable TV. Actually go and watch the Disney Channel, and it was streaming Smash Bros. So when you watch Smash Bros, and this is the pinnacle, this is the highest level gameplay you're going to see. These two people knocked out the rest of the world basically, and it's just these two left. and they're basically demonstrating the whole. They're representing the community at large. There's what 200,000 people watching this just on Twitch alone. So they're representing the community and saying this is what Grand Finals is for Smash. This is what it's come down to: two people having a laugh, taking the piss, having a joke, just holding B, not doing anything for like a minute, breaking the rules, collusion. They're disrespecting other players. They're disrespecting the scene. Disregarding how far the community's come. They're ignoring. I know they were booed by the crowd, but they're ignoring what the crowd was saying basically. And they're basically making a statement that what you're watching right now, this Bayonetta versus Bayonetta match where you hold B, is Smash 4 forever now, and that's why it's a problem.
And that's okay, because
I get that maybe they thought it was funny at the time, but that one scene here, this one section here, this right here, this still image, is the death of Smash 4. No hyperbole. Literally, Smash 4 died once they did this, because the whole community just got shat on. This one thing they did put the community back. It's lost the whole Smash Bros scene a lot of respect. It's also put Smash 4 in the trash, to be honest, which is where it belongs, because I never liked Smash 4 anyway. People now look at Smash 4 and don't want to play it because they know this is what high level play is. These guys knocked out the rest of the world, as I just said, and this is what they're representing. They're representing the community, and they're essentially saying, as a community, we're going to do this on stage at the largest fighting game event. We're going to represent our game and our community, and this is what you're going to see. And we're going to disrespect Evo, a tournament that's been going for 15 plus years at this point. This one image is literally this one little scene here is the moment that Smash 4 died, and the Smash community I know have been taking a lot of hits over the last 2-3 days since this happened. You've got people having to come out and make statements about it on forums and that. You've got people like if I go to you've got Keith Crew. His thoughts on it are pretty much the same as mine. You've got Zero here. I watched Zero's, and he essentially, I don't want to play too much of it, but essentially Zero's essentially stating all the points I did as well. I just wanted to hear what other people have said about it. But loads of people, the most overall the most. No one liked Bayonetta anyway because of how stupid it was, but people talking about the discussions of it, or highlight and recap. People doing reactions to it, people's thoughts on top 8 on Grand Finals. I hope now you kind of understand, based on the perception, the perspective of where Smashville started. Where the Smash community started and where it's gotten to now. The perception of a godlike character, compared it to Third Strike and Smash 4, for example, Bayonetta. What OP characters are like, and then also the fact that these two guys have represented the Smash scene, the Smash 4 in a house that they were invited to, and essentially done that on stage. It's really highly disrespectful. It's essentially put the Smash community back a couple of stages. They've lost a lot of respect, and that's why it's so big. It's also so severe. Again, no hyperbole, no so severe. While Mr. Wizard hasn't made a statement on it yet, I would not be surprised if we now don't get Smash Bros at the next Evo, or Smash Bros is kind of relegated to the side because of how severe that kind of play was. The hate for Bayonetta, I'm gonna put it out there. Like I said, I love Bayonetta. Okay, she's an amazing character, but as I explained earlier, even I admit when you play Bayonetta, you're playing a completely different game. You're not playing Smash Bros at this point. It doesn't matter how amazing some of these characters in other games are. Like I said, you can look at Zero May Cry in Marvel 3 and go, this team's incredible. It's top tier. But it's still, a Marvel 3 team. You can look at MSS in Marvel 2, Magneto Storm Sentinel. That's still a Marvel 2 set of characters. They fit within the constraints of the game and the rules set in place. Even amazing characters in Street Fighter 4, like Cammy. She's amazing with her Vortex, but she still fits within the restrictions put in place of Street Fighter 4 and its mechanics. Bayonetta isn't. She is completely different. She breaks the game and does what she wants, and she breaks the way that the game plays because of stuff like this. I can show you some examples actually. Let me show you some examples of just get Bayonetta gameplay in general. Like, no other characters can do these kind of things. Other